What's going on with the Wolf? And we back with another episode of The Couch. And I'm very excited today. Wanna know why? Because I find myself joined by somebody who's like a brother to me. But he's not just a brother to me, he's a public figure to the world. He's the CEO and founder of Somebody Gotta Do It brand, but I like to consider it a movement. But I'm not gonna go too much in depth because I'm gonna let him do that himself. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to announce my guy, Mr. Yusuf. I would say his last name, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But we bringing him out. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? In this week's Wolf book, it's gonna be a book that I'm currently reading, and it's called Maximizing Your Potential. Now, I'm gonna cite the author's name below so you can go check it out. But the reason I chose this book is because, for one, I'm currently reading it, so I'm about halfway through. And it actually put me into a space where I realized I thought I was giving things all that I had, but in reality, I wasn't really maximizing my potential. I was kind of just being okay with doing better than whatever my surroundings called for, right? And it made me realize, this said something that was really interesting. And I don't want to quote it, but I'm gonna just tell y'all what I got from it. And it was saying that, like, naturally, like, let's look at a highway, right? If somebody's going 60 miles, you can go in a limited miles per hour on a highway, and somebody was going, let's say 100, right? And you was doing 120, because you was going the fastest on the highway, you would think that you're doing the best. But you might be doing the best on that highway, but that don't mean you're doing your best, right? So put that in perspective made me realize we compare ourselves subconsciously to the people that we're around sometimes, and we're doing better, then we think that we're doing our best. But just because you put up 40 points and everybody else had 30 don't mean you couldn't have put up 60 or 70. And that's a sports analogy. But what I'm saying to say that is maximizing your potential is not comparing yourself to the people around you, but comparing yourself to you. Asking yourself this question: did I do my best? Did I do better than, is this the best that I could have done? And did I do better than what I did yesterday? And if you answering that question every day saying you did, then you're getting better and better, and you truly are maximizing your potential. And it talks about other things like guarding your potential and how to, man, what was the word to use? I can't really quote it because, like I said, I'm still in the middle of it, and I'm so excited to talk about it because it's a mindset shift and a perspective shift in me, making me realize that although I might show up and be doing okay, I know in my heart I could be doing more. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing. So go check it out. It's called Maximizing Your Potential. The author's name is going to be listed below. And yeah, just if you got any suggestions for me, I want to go ahead and open it up for you to tell me some books to read now. So there you have it, Wolf Books. We about to get into the show. We're going to bring out our guests. See y'all soon. My brother.
Fucking guy, dog.
What's up, bro? Mr. Yus himself.
Cool, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. First of all, it's an honor to have you down here.
Appreciate it.
Long
overdue, though.
I'm about to say, we were just saying this is our first
bro.
one-on-one conversation.
It's crazy.
Bro,
5 years we've been collabing in so many events,
bro. I've been in 5 years. I done seen you over 100 times.
Yeah.
And this is our first time sitting down.
I thought about it on my way here. I'm like, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
But thank you for initiating it. Because I would thought I did it by now, but I had to look back like, no, it's always been a panel.
Yeah, every single time.
Yeah.
But I had the pleasure of meeting you a few years back. We connected. We instantly, made that connection, and it just been like a brotherhood ever since.
No doubt.
But I'm introducing you to my audience now, who might not have known you or been familiar with you. So I want to start off I don't like it to be too interviewy, but I like it to be like a conversation. But right now, I do want to get into your backstory, just so people get a feel for who you are.
Right.
So you the CEO and founder of Somebody Gotta Do It.
Yes, sir.
It's not a brand to me; it's a lifestyle and a movement.
Lifestyle, absolutely.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
Lifestyle, lifestyle motivational brand.
Talk about youth leading up to that, because like where that transpired from.
I mean, for me personally, it was just the sum of everything I just was going through growing up.
Yeah.
Like, was African descent. I'm from Senegal, to be specific.
Yeah.
So just growing up, being in a single parent household, being the first generation born on top of that, also being Muslim, being African. As you can see, that's a lot of different factors into one.
You got it, yeah. So let's start. What was the most challenging of those dynamics? Being from Senegal, being African, being the first generation, and like, what was the most challenging for you coming up?
I think the most challenging was being raised by parents that wasn't from here. Because all my parents, like, they migrated here.
Yeah.
Instantaneously. Now you hear, all of a sudden, now you got kids that's being groomed and born in America.
Yeah.
Now y'all got to figure it out.
Yeah.
Y'all got to figure all this shit out. Y'all don't got no guidance, no rule book of how to do this. So they still thinking as if they in Africa.
Yeah.
And
so are they overly cultured?
Absolutely, overly cultured. And it's them, they mean well, but how they project their love is just different. Because the way they grew up, and that's no disrespect. I try to put myself in their shoes too. It's just more so like, all they know is what they know.
Yeah.
They can only love you the way they know how to. So being as though I was growing up here without a father too, no matter what they try to do, I still gotta go outside. And that was the struggle I kept finding myself. I'm coming home, y'all telling me, pray, do this, focus on school. It's just so militant. It's not a hugging home, it's not a I love you home. It's just like set in stone rules. So when I go outside now, I'm seeing friends.
And it's freedom.
Yeah.
So do you think that there not being a man in the house played a factor into why they were so stern with you?
I could see that. You know, my mom, she said it, but, you know, because she used to always get, like, my uncles involved because she felt like I probably tried to take advantage because she a woman. But one thing I noticed from my uncles, I always used to say it is, like, it's one thing to have tough love, but where's the love? No matter what, like, I'm still a child. I still need that proper, you know, understanding of how to be a man. And if you don't give me that, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna imitate what I see. So that's how I started to divvy up, just get myself a little caught up in the wrong things.
I'm about to ask you that. So when you initially found yourself looking for that guidance and the men outside, do you think you chose the right role models?
I didn't, because all I knew was the old heads around me. So if I'm seeing them in the corner or seeing them on the basketball court or just seeing them like just in my environment doing certain things, I can't, at that moment, I can't decipher what's right from wrong. All I could do is just be like the sum of my environment. So I was just a product of my environment, matter of fact. So all I knew was like, all right, if this is what's being projected to me, this how I'm gonna be safe, this how I'm gonna be protected. I felt a self-protection because these are the people I go to for money, these are the people I go to for guidance. So I looked up to them. So I'm not gonna look at them as bad people because they're doing X, Y, Z.
And you kind of understand it when you're that close. If a community of people says this isn't wrong, when you in that environment, it don't feel like it's wrong.
Certain politics you gotta look at. So that's how I look at it. Certain street politics that came with what I saw. So that's all I knew. And even when I started to get a little conscious, because the thing about the streets, it make you quick on your feet. You start to grow a little faster because you start to be intuitive. You start to peep what's going on.
100%.
So even when I started to get more self-aware, I still felt like, right or wrong, I feel safe here. And I'd rather be where I feel safe. I'd rather be where I felt more at home outside than inside. So that's where I just got comfortable at. Do
you think you was rebelling against the structure that was put in front of you? That's what made you feel more comfortable outside?
Because when inside, like I said, and now I understand as a full grown man, I love my culture, I love my religion. I feel like that's the reason I'm who I am right now. But going back to that time, you can't tell somebody to do certain things without saying why.
100%.
You just come up, you telling me to pray. Okay, make me understand why I gotta pray.
100%.
If you telling me don't do this, make me understand. Like, cause growing up in Africa, it's some things that's unspoken. It's unspoken
100%.
laws. If somebody older than you, gotta respect them.
100%.
I don't care if they're a day older. It's just certain culture and certain things that you can't even have the audacity to argue or talk back. It's just set in stone. Whatever it is, it's understood. And they don't really explain themselves. But like I said, I'm out here. I'm not in Africa. Like when I go outside, it's different reality. So 100%. Of course, there's always going to be a disconnect.
Questions, and it's going to come off as you being challenging. When in reality, you're being inquisitive. So what would you say was that turning point? But before we even get to the turning point, you faced some back and forths. With troubles and things that put you in different predicaments. So let's talk about that.
I mean, the way I look at it, I made mistakes. But I also was at a point where, and I always say this to people, that's why I'm so big when I'm going to school, talk to the kids. I always say, don't get discouraged and lose hope in yourself. Because when you get to that point, you don't even care what you think about yourself before you think what everybody else think about you. I was at that point at a young age, nobody should feel like that as a kid. So when I was going around stealing, fighting, getting arrested, coming home, in and out, I didn't care. I felt like I was a zombie. I was just like floating. But it wasn't until they sent me to Africa, I'm not gonna lie, when they sent my ass back home to Africa, that was the turning point, because I was like 17, I believe at that time. When I got sent back home, two things happened. I had the chance to really understand where I come from because I'm around it now. And it also gave me a sense of appreciation for what I didn't know I had at the time at my disposal.
The freedom, the opportunity.
Freedom. It's some simple as opening the fridge, seeing food. Being outside, like having hot water. And this is not to, because I want to be careful, this is not to take away from where I'm from.
Not at all.
But a lot of people, they look at it like it's not by any means like diminishing where I'm from. It's just the reality of where I was at back home, the village. This is like, it was a crazy struggle for me. So just being in that position just made me just hold on to everything I had at one point. So that's why I told myself, like, when I get back to America, I'm never going to take that for granted, because people out here would never have the opportunity to come to America. They would kill to be in my position right now that I'm complaining about. You give one person that I saw in that village this opportunity, they probably going to be a millionaire.
Do you think that isn't that was an essential part of your journey, and do you think it's essential for other people to experience that? To remain, to come back to almost being grounded and understanding what's in front of them.
Absolutely, because a lot of people don't have that third option. Because like I said, second option could be like you get locked up, you come home. But I had the luxury of going back home.
Yeah.
And who was to say if I never got sent back, I don't know where I would have been at.
Because you would have never had that.
Yeah, I would have never had that outlet.
Yeah.
So it took me away. Now I'm just in a position where I'm just refrained from everything.
Yeah, 100%.
I can't go outside at night. I mean, there's no street lights. You know what I'm saying? I can't go rob somebody. That's just not the reality. So I was in that position. It was so humbling because I really got to see people struggle. And when I mean struggle, it was an eye-opener because I'm seeing people literally, they on the corners. Imagine selling apples all day, and that's how you got to pay rent and feed your family, which you probably can make like $5 in a day. Yeah. So it put me in percentage. And if you always been a hustler, you look at these things as things to pick up on.
100%.
Like, I'm like, yo, imagine if I come here, because one thing about America, no matter how you want to slice it, we understand from the outside looking in, this is the land of opportunity.
100%.
It's like a place where you could do good or you could do bad. It's up to you. The choice is yours.
100% every
Some
time.
places like back home, no matter what you do, you would never amount to X, Y, Z. You could play basketball all day, work on your skills. Nobody gonna come look for you. You can be good at rapping, no entertainer, no labels gonna come look for you. But you in America, you could literally be funny and there's an audience for that.
Yeah.
You can make fun. I see people acting like clowns on social media, and not in a bad way, just saying like it's an audience for everything. So I had to remember like, yo, you one of the few people that actually had an outlet to come to this country.
Yeah.
Some of my family, I got blood family members back home that's not ever gonna be able to come here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta come here and act like I know better.
And I feel like this is gonna be a rhetorical question, but I still gotta ask, would you say that was the fuel to your ambition? Like for somebody gotta do it and everything else you've been able to accomplish since you've been back?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the way I look at it is like, I gotta put this family on my back. Regardless of how I felt about what my family didn't do, what my parents didn't do, I had to look at it like this. The position I got right now is golden. They can't put us in a position right now.
Yeah.
My pop, he not even in America.
Yeah.
My mom is tired. Like she raised us. So the way I look at it is like, if I don't push this envelope, nothing's really going to change our circumstance right now.
It sounds like you went to Africa and became a man.
Yeah.
So I want to talk more about that when we come back. Don't go nowhere. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to finish this discussion with you.
I'm Bucket. I was cheated on, and I survived. All right, so the situation was I had this girlfriend a few years back. She was actually my first girlfriend. And I was brought up with, man should do this, man should do that, man should do this. Open up the doors. She never touched the door handle. She never pumped her own gas, especially if I was around. Did everything for her, you know? And then one day, you know, she was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Why you don't think it's gonna work? You just too good to be true. I just feel like I'm gonna mess it up somehow, some way. And I'm like, no, babe, listen, relax. You ain't gonna do all that. You know what I'm saying? Just stay focused on us in the relationship. You ain't had nothing else to worry about. Later on down the road, we end up hitting a bump in the road. So I guess she felt more comfortable going back to what she was used to, which was her ex. And she ended up messing back with him for a little bit. But this was during our breakup. So eventually what happened was I had found out, and from there.
What was the bump in the road?
We just got into like, you know, when you get too comfortable, that's what happened. So you feeling like you could talk to me any type of way. I feel like I could talk to you any type of way. It was just, the interest level was going down pretty much.
So describe the events leading up to her cheating, and then describe how you found out about it.
So we was chilling one day at her family's Thanksgiving, and I was over there. I was at her house, and we was chilling, and we had gotten into a fight because I asked her to make me a plate, and she was like, no, you can make your own plate. And I'm like, any other time, you know, you can make my plate, but you around your family, you don't want, you know, you don't want to submit, son. And no, you think this, that, and the third. And I'm like, you weird, and you know what I'm saying? So from there, you know, it started. But I think it was something that caused it to be like that. And I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is to this day. But long story short, I asked to borrow her laptop. And you know, when you got iPhones, everything's connected with that Apple and everything else. So I asked to borrow her laptop. Originally, I went on there to go look up something, but she had got a message to her laptop, and I clicked on it. It was her ex name. And I'm like, the anxiety start kicking in. That anxiety, like your whole body get hot. So I'm like, hold on, I'm about to scroll. I'm scrolling. Oh, when I'm gonna see you again? And It's like it was times where she shut it down. She was faithful, she was loyal, but then it was that one moment where it's like, I guess we can link up just for this. One thing led to another. During that time, I didn't see anything of physically cheating, but she did tell me that she was gonna mess up the relationship. That whole night, it was just a bad situation. We tried to work through it, but nah, that joint was over after that.
Did she ever admit it?
Nah, she still don't admit it to this day that she never physically cheated.
So she basically taking it to the grave.
Yeah, I feel like she did do some sexual things with him, but nah, like it was never those type of situation where she was like, oh yeah, I did do it, I apologize or anything like that. So
what did that do for you in that moment when you seen that she had gave in to linking up with him?
I pretty much kept the same mindset. I try not to let no type of situation deteriorate my character as to who I am. Any girl that I've dealt with on a relationship, I'm yours, you're mine. Never touch the door handle, never open the door. I still do the same thing. I treat a queen like a queen, and you know what I'm saying? Other girls are just other girls.
So moving forward, what would you say would you do differently if put in the same position when y'all had a bump in the road?
It's not even necessarily the bump in the road. I think it's more so just that mindset of, if any girl feel like I'm too good to be true, I'm getting out that relationship off rip.
That's understandable. Well, thank you for your time. We appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing this and opening up for us. And yeah, we hope that things work out for you in the future.
One love.
Before we cut to a commercial break, we was talking about how your ambition was fueled by your trip back to Africa, right? So, but like I was saying, I felt like you came back a man.
Yeah, for sure.
So you wanted to take on a lot of responsibilities.
For sure.
So since then, how has the perception from your family's eyes of you, how has that changed?
You know, it's a parable my mom used to always tell me when I was younger, especially the time when I was going through what I was going through. She was like, when you get in trouble, they always be like, that's your son. When you're doing good, they say that's our son. So that's what it really became like. It's like a sense of joy now when you're representing something bigger than yourself, especially, in the African community is tight knit. So it's a sense of pride when let's say I graduated college. Yeah. Everybody's like, our son has done this, or our son is doing shows. So it's become more of a thing now where like, I guess I got a lot of cousins I ain't never known. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I understand it too. You know what I mean? It's more so, it's not many of us in this position. Yeah. When I say us, I go back, it's culture. I'm getting more intimate. It's not many people taking that stride that I'm in right now. So it's a lot more pressure, obviously, but pressure make diamonds. It's one of those things where I keep thinking about it, and I be going deep with my thoughts. Like, I'm like, it's just bound to happen. Like, I don't want my kids to have to go through what I went through.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, what I went through was it could have been a give and take. Yeah. Like, it's not, everybody don't make that U-turn.
100%.
So the fact that I'm here right now, I take that real serious. And that's how I carry myself like this, because I always think about, I can't afford for my kids to just even think about just being that thought process, what I had to think about just as a kid. So that's why I take on that, and I'm just grateful. And I understand, like, like you said, the family, they definitely look at it now, like I said, as somebody in position, like he got us, what I mean? So there's a lot of people riding on this right now.
I probably could have started with this, right? But I didn't. I wanted to ask, like, now I know you for your brand, your movement. Somebody got to do it. So tell us some more about you and the things that you do and have done. Shout out to you for graduating college too.
Appreciate it.
Just
business-wise or just like business, in general.
So we could start business, and then I guess you could just flow into some general things as well.
All right, cool. And I got my shirt on, by the way, in case when they see it, it's like it's on the back. Okay. I don't want people to think.
Yeah, because you ain't. I was like, you normally logoed up. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me do this real quick for the camera. Let them see my.
Yeah, no, for sure.
SUDI.
I got the black, orange, and white one.
Yeah, I see it. I see it in the video.
Yeah,
I like that.
And it went viral.
I like that. I'm like, perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's my guy. Always links me. But tell us more so about the brand and everything else. I don't want to announce it. I know some things, but I'm gonna let you just say.
Okay, let me see what I could think about. Cause it's so crazy. I don't really talk about myself a lot, so it'd be weird when I try to think about. So
start with the business first, and then flow into it.
So with somebody gotta do it. I'm Muslim, so I always say alhamdulillah. I'm just grateful that Allah put me in this position now. 7 years So within the 7 years, we was able to not only start off as just selling shirts, white and black shirts, literally, like typically people would start off selling for your trunks. From then I was able to do a fashion show. Now we grateful enough to be able to do yearly fashion shows.
Not just yearly, them big, sold out annual
Sold out fashion shows.
Big fashion show with 700 plus people.
Yeah, so we grateful for that. We also do pop-up shops, seasonal drops. We also got a talk show as well. You know, I had you on it as well.
Yeah,
SGDI Talks, because we like to have raw conversations as we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And we also have a charity foundation, because that's one of the things that, everything I went through, that's something they instilled in me at a young age. Like, it's not about, you know, the possessions, the money. You want to be rich in blessings. So everything is about what you can give back. So we was able to even go back home.
Yeah.
I went back home like last year and I fed my village. Like that was my biggest thing, because regardless, that was a big part of my story.
Yeah.
I know if I didn't go there at that time, I wouldn't be here presently. So when this became an opportunity for me after I got done college, I graduated at Temple University, by the way. Shout out to you.
Yes.
I shot back down and we fed the whole village, because that was just my way of saying thank you.
And the more give back work you do, we probably met each other at about 50, 60 different schools over the last few years. So let's talk about your journey and just talking to the kids and like always going back and being a beacon of light for, you know, the youth in the future.
Yeah, you know, this is the motto I always use, like, be who you needed when you was younger. So that's my main thing when it comes to these kids. I don't want to spend too much time talking about what somebody didn't do for me. Yeah. Because I know if somebody would have done what I'm doing for somebody else, what that could have ultimately led me to.
100%.
So that's why I always take this with pride. I'm pretty sure you and the people along us that go with us, this is something we know that is a golden opportunity.
100%.
It's free game. This is the one community service that I would do without a heartbeat every single time, because we know how important it is for these kids at this crucial time. And I think a lot of people, the mistake they made, it's a tender age for them. They judge them prematurely.
Yeah, they give up
and
on
they
them.
make them feel like they can't be a certain amount of things because of their current circumstance.
100%.
I know what I was. Nobody would have told you I would have been where I'm at. Probably the same thing with you.
100%.
So you can't judge somebody prematurely. So that's one of the biggest things why I'm so big on going to these schools. I don't care where they are. They send us in the middle, heart of the city. I don't care how bad they are. We got them.
And the thing is, they be needing to see an example.
Yeah.
And that's representation matters. So when they see somebody that look like them coming in there and they speaking to them and they talking to them, it makes them feel like it's possible.
Relatability.
It's
yeah,
relatable.
Sure.
So I feel like that's why I be loving to see us as strong black men, successful men coming to talk to these kids,
bro,
and just being there and showing up and being consistent. Because when we give up on the youth and we basically tell them, you know, whatever, but people say certain things, oh, you know, they don't have no future. It's like, no, we got to remember that we all we had to go through what we went through to get to where we at.
Yeah.
Another thing that I was going to say in regard, so would you consider yourself like a philanthropist type of person?
Damn, that's a good question, bro. You know, with me, like I said, it's like, it's hard. Like, I don't know if because of the way I was raised, it's just hard. Challenging. I like that. I like how you be going with that.
Yeah.
It's challenging for me to like label myself in certain ways, you know what I mean? It's just, because I just look at it like I'm playing my part. I'm just here to like this world, I just really want to just play my part. If you need me to be a leader, I would do that. If you need me to play behind the scenes, I'll do that. I just want to just be one of the pieces to the puzzles for the greater good in this world.
Two things. I want to commend you for your leadership. You're an amazing leader. I've seen how you ran your shows. Like, I be like, being a leader myself, I'd be extremely impressed, and I could sit there and watch how you do things and take notes at times, like, and come and be like you ever go into a situation, you see it unorganized and see where you could fit in and be like, yeah, I can help
no doubt. Yeah.
I've never came to nothing you did and felt like that. I've always felt like a guest that can just sit back and be like, I have no worries in the world. Like, I come to your shows and know that it's gonna be well ran, it's gonna be organized, and the outcome is gonna be all of that. So it'd be a pleasure every time. And the second thing, we connected through you reaching out about getting me somebody got to do it. So I want to tell you why when I just felt like it was so fitting. Like, I didn't know much about the brand at the time.
Crazy. You said that too. That's the crazy
I was like, yo, when I seen it, I said, nah, yo, this is hard. And I had met up with your brother. Yeah. He gave me some, before I didn't even meet you, I met up with him. He gave me some hoodies. And I straight put it on. And ever since then we connected, but it was the message. Like, I truly wholeheartedly felt like somebody got to do it. So when it was like, when you come up with something like that, and it's as powerful as that type of message, and it's simple and straight to the point, it's like, these things have to get done.
Absolutely.
And somebody has to do it.
Why not you?
You get what I'm
Why
saying?
not us?
So
Yeah, that's how it is.
I just wanted to say that because I just wanted to let you know where my admiration and respect came for the brand.
appreciate
It was
that,
simply in it itself, and then me getting to know you up close and getting to watch you how you operate. I could see a lot of myself in you, like like being a leader, and then knowing what comes with that.
Yeah.
I developed an immense level of respect for you. So
It's likewise, it's mutual, bro.
I always like to give people their flowers when they come down to the couch. But we're gonna cut to another quick commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna dig a little deeper because I got some more questions for you. Don't go nowhere. So I definitely wanted to get a guest opportunity to get to know a little bit about you. And I felt like you actually literally like went beneath the surface. Like I learned some things about you, even your mindset and you know how it developed into what it is, right?
Yeah.
But in this segment, we like to dig even deeper. So
get to it, huh?
Yeah, and I always say, you know, answer what you're comfortable with, you know what I'm saying? But my first question to you is, would you say that you was raised on love or survival?
Survival, I would say that. But that's deep, bro.
Yeah.
and my promise is I answer too quick, so I'm trying to learn how to process too. But the reason I would say I grew up on survival is because of what I alluded to earlier. It just was not no proper representation of love, or at least to my knowledge of what I knew my love languages to be, or how I would like to be loved as a kid at that time.
Yeah.
So that being said, everything I had to do, I had to fend for myself. Like finding a way to make money, finding a way to be on point, finding a way to stay up to date with whatever I like, with his clothes, people. And in return, that I saw that through my relationships with people, my friends, my homies. We all kind of had that same understanding. Like everybody around me seemed like we was just surviving. Yeah. So it wasn't a thing where like it was much love. Like we come from environments at a young age. We seen people at our age losing their life. Yeah. People at our age going on to get locked up. So with that mentality, you always got to be on point.
So what would you say the hardest thing was that you had to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
The hardest thing, and this is just in general, or like?
Yeah, this is in your life. This isn't just business, and this is whatever the most traumatic experience you have ever had, and how did you overcome it?
Believe it or not, and this is where I'm gonna just be transparent, you know what I mean? Because we on the couch. I think
you got it. Yeah.
I would say right now, believe it or not, I'm going through probably one of the darkest moments. And I know people can't really see it, because one thing I realized, I got high function anxiety. Like when I'm falling, because of my position, the platform I'm in, like, you know, even with you as a public figure, some of us, when we falling, our fall don't look like this. It's like this. So because you still able to function, I could come do an interview. So they don't really see it as like drastic. Yeah. So, and I can't blame people, because if I don't put certain energy out there, I can't expect everybody to be, oh, let's check in on him. Let's see how you doing. Damn, bro, I noticed you was, because I really I shelter stuff like that. Yeah. But right now, something happened in my personal life that kind of just took me off my game. Yeah. And I'm just starting to give myself grace, because for so long, I just felt like I was Superman when I got in this position, because I never really had a wiggle room. I went from like streets to business. Yeah. I never had like a gap of just chill with this. It just literally overnight I came in this position, and I've been on a 7-year run since. Yeah. And for 7 straight years, I've just been shows, events, traveling, this, that. So this is the first time, whether it's burning out or whatever it is. I'm gonna be honest, I probably don't know exactly what it is. Yeah. They got me feeling this way, and I'm okay with just not knowing either. Yeah. But I would say all that compiled got me to this point where I'm just resetting and refocusing, and I'm just gonna give myself the grace for however long that takes for me to be able to get back to where I need to be at, because I definitely haven't done no events this year. Yeah. I ain't do no drops this year. Yeah. But like I said, I'm okay with knowing I'm a human being, 100%. And I'm gonna allow myself to feel and go through these motions.
And to your point, man, I just want to say this to you. First of all, we do grace, bro. And being a public figure, being in the light, people having a standard that they hold you to.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you said you can function at high levels even when you're going through things. Yeah. But that's where the grace has to come in, and you have to understand. Even you being in a dark space, you know, they say that we develop in the dark, the same way pictures do. Right, so like you literally have to go through these moments to get a breakthrough. And I'm gonna take 2 things to you. Like, it's literally just a season, right? And you can't judge yourself based on whatever the financial aspect of your life that you might be, or even the mental, because it's literally so. And it's kind of challenging to see past this. Like the problem could be this. My hand ain't that big when you put it out here.
Yeah.
But when you put it up here, it seems so much worse.
Right.
But whatever that little blockage is, the moment you get it, you're gonna be able to see everything clearly, and you're gonna even appreciate being able to function again in normality. So maybe this 7-year run took you here so that you can go through your next breakthrough, because 7 years ago you had to go through this Africa.
That's true.
You had to go through something big, so you're going through that again. But this new breakthrough just gonna be at a whole new level, because you coming in already at a different level than you was 7 years ago. So I wanted to say that to you. My next question was going to be, no, for sure, bro. I'm literally this. I think this is that year for that. If I'm being transparent with you, this is that year where I was in my darkest place. I went through some things, and you know, I had to just have grace on myself and realize, like, you know what, we got time. We did a lot of great things, and even though you didn't drop, your name still hold weight. Your presence is still felt, and God is still guarding, and Allah for you is still guarding and protecting you and carrying you on this mission.
100%,
so you know, you just recharging. But what I was going to say was, how do you deal with depression?
With me personally, and it's fitting because now I'm describing right now.
Yeah.
So right now it's putting me in a position to figure these things out. So what I realized is that's some of the things I had to go back to, is like, all right, because I never really experienced this type of moment since my prior lifestyle, I had to figure out, all right, what is some coping mechanism I like to do, or what do I like to do for fun? Because I love this, but this is still my reality of business. So I lost sight of what do I do. So what I started to do now was like, outside of just, you know, playing sports, I got back to that. I had to go back to the basics.
What sports you be playing?
Like basketball,
soccer, we gotta get
football.
some runs.
Yeah, I had to go back to the basics, even like going to the masjid. That's one of my biggest things. That's just a therapeutic place for me. That's like a place of just going there and just praying, just being around other believers. That just soothes my heart, because it makes you just take your mind off the worldly matters. You know what I mean? And I also just started this thing recently. I took myself on self-dates. I ain't never do that in my life, but I did that, and I got dressed up too, bro. I ain't even gonna hold you. I got so dressed up, people was thrown off in that joint. They thinking somebody about to come, like, no. But I needed that. That was some of the things where I'm like, all right, let me just go out, feel good, just to feel good again. You feel what I'm saying? Also took a planner with me, just when I was there, just sitting down, writing things down, just, you know what I mean?
They thought you got stood up.
No, for real. But I'm still, and as we see, and that's why I'm also be honest with, like, and I'm still figuring out what else. I feel there's a lot of figuring out I'm doing too this year. So I'm also figuring out what else I could do to keep myself in high spirits when I start to feel down, depressed. You feel me?
All right, this is my last question for this digging deep section, right? And it's deep. Do you think there's something or someone that you haven't forgiven yet? And how can we, you know, start that process? Do you think it's something that may be holding you back?
That's a good question. I've personally forgave everybody. If the funny story is, I think when I was younger, you know, when I got sent to Africa, something happened. And long story short, like, I forgave somebody at that time that almost like killed somebody around me. And when I knew I could do that, I really don't think it's much that can measure to something to that degree. So that ultimately made me like ultra forgiving, to the point where people take advantage of me. Because I'm so easy to forgive that if people know that, they might try your hand.
100%.
But the flip side of that is, I hope people forgave me for what I've done to them.
Did you forgive you?
I forgave myself. And I think that's why I'm able to sleep good at night. That's why I'm able to move on. But it's still a part of me sometimes that I be thinking like, damn, you know, I did a lot of dirt growing up. And I can only imagine somebody watching, look at him now, he doing this, he popping now, he doing. So I just be thinking like, if I would have ever run into some people, I would really apologize. It don't make me less of a man, because I know I moved past that. And I also know the bigger picture, like life is beautiful. There's so much to it on this side. And a lot of people, you know, they ain't really leave the streets life alone. So they just kind of stuck on, you know, autopilot.
100%.
So I just pray that, you know, if I've wronged anybody, and I can say that publicly, I just hope they find in them to forgive me, because, you know, I don't want to move with anything in my heart. I want to leave this world with a clean slate with everybody.
100%. I'm gonna be honest. You dug deep, and I appreciate it, because I feel like there's somebody out here that's going to benefit from it, and I hope you feel lighter, because that was a heavy conversation.
I definitely do.
And I want to lighten it a little bit, so we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna have our open discussion. So don't go nowhere. When we come back, we're gonna have this open discussion with the Wolf and Youth. Somebody gotta do it.
Somebody gotta do it.
Man, we just had a nice intermission.
Yes, sir.
We got to lighten our energy. We got to share some laughs and some old stories. So I think that's a good segue into our now segment, which is open discussion. Now, in open discussion, I'm gonna throw a topic out there, but it's also one of the things where we could have a topic, but I give you the opportunity to ask me questions. So it becomes more conversational. Like you might have some things you might want to ask or whatever the case may be. So I'm gonna start with the topic and then we'll just flow from there.
Send them more.
So I want to talk about relationships because me and you, being the type of men we are, do you think there's an expectation on like the woman we end up with?
Absolutely, bro. It's the thing that I don't like because I hate to sound like Mr. Cliche.
Yeah.
But a lot of people always they make jokes and I always be like, nobody's ugly. Yeah. Everybody's beautiful to somebody. I don't want to hear that shit. You better not bring nobody ugly. You better not marry somebody. And I'm just like, damn, like, but somebody that, like Buddy right here could get away with talking, saying nobody going, but why?
But you can't.
But why do y'all have expectations that I have to meet?
Yeah.
And I get it. You know, it's all fun and games because it's how they view you. But my whole thing is like, beauty is subjective. As long as I like what I see, I don't give a damn what nobody got to say.
100%.
I got to bring this person home. I'm going to marry this person, not the community, not the whole world, not Instagram. So that's all that mattered. But it do trick you up sometimes. You know, I don't know if you go through that too, though.
Yeah, 100%. But I'll tell you a point what you just said. Look at what you just said, right? So like you're a black, successful, single man, right? Yeah. And then you're a good man at that, right? Got good character, integrity, morals. You're a leader. Them qualities are so scarce that like women and men will feel like women will throw themselves at you because I experience it. So they look at it like you got options. So they trying to say you better not come home with nothing. But you looking at the like like external beauty is one thing, but internal beauty is everything. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was crazy because this was you said when was your last relationship?
My last relationship was 2020. We in 2022, right? Yeah, 2020. I'm bugging. I'm getting old.
Cause you couldn't. Shut up.
We in 2022.
So he get old. We young. I can't let you get away with that. But
2020. Yeah.
I was just at church panel.
Yeah.
And I was in a relationship at the time, and you was asking me something off camera. So I said I'll let you ask me on the camera. So what you was saying when we was offset about my relationship?
Cause I was saying like when I heard you say like you're in a relationship, that struck out to me. Cause I'm like I gotta talk to you about it. Cause I want to know, like I feel like if you make a decision, it gotta be a thought out decision.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you really like methodical, like everything you do, you plan. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm like, if Wolf saying she the one, she gotta be the one. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like, like, how did you get there? If you're still there, like, how did you even weed that out to be like, all the people you got in front of you, like, this is the one.
It's crazy you say that, right? Because like that's the expectation on me. Like how you say the expectation, they be like, don't bring nobody that looks a certain type of way. For me, it's like everybody feel like because I'm so methodical to your choice of words and like the way I think or whatever the case may be, they like, if he chose her, he vetted her, she has to be the. So it almost puts the target on her and me in a sense, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Because they like, guys like, oh, she must be the one because he said she the one. If I can get her, that mean I found the one. Yeah. Even if she ain't for them. And then girls is like, well, what about her that makes her the one? Like what she got that I ain't got? Or what did he do? I feel like in that particular relationship, although it was short-lived, I learned a lot. You heard how I spoke about her at the event and what she added to my life. I felt like I was able to add to her life. I think that I came into, and I don't want to speak prematurely, like how you say you move too fast when you speak, because there's so many different dynamics to it. So I don't even want to answer it in a nutshell. But it wasn't a bad outcome. I just think it came down to us realizing like, damn, like this was a good season. But we might not be each other's person forever. But if you put this on paper, we really might want the same stuff. But when you get, like it's like when you got that.
Did it get like the Sutton point, or did y'all see it?
Yeah, like, I think God spoke to me, and was like, this is nice. Like there's nothing wrong with neither one of y'all. And I just think that it was. You know what I told her? I'll be transparent. Yeah. I said I feel like I captured a beautiful butterfly, right? But I put it in a jar, and if I keep this butterfly in this jar, it's gonna die. I have to let this butterfly go. And she honestly respected it, and that was exactly how it went. And I let her know. I said, like, I know I can see who you are going to become, and you're going to be a great woman for somebody. But because of where we are, it don't allow us to get to where we're supposed to be because we romanticized the vision more than the actual elements in which we were in. So I think like I could say nothing bad. I mean, everything has something, but in a nutshell, I just think that I'm gonna be for somebody, and I think I gotta get. It even made me realize I thought, because for years since 2020, I wanted to be in a relationship.
That's crazy.
Being a relationship author, having a book.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna show everybody. I practice what I preach. Like they gonna see this, and I think that I was kind of like almost searching for that in every woman.
Right.
And I wasn't dating for the casuality. I wanted to be intentional. I'm I'm trying to find my wife. And I think when I got into that, I was like, all right, I still want this, but I need a little bit more time.
Yeah.
So that was me. But you, 2020, what was that about?
2020.
Because I didn't even know you was in a relationship, so you did a good job concealing that.
Yeah, one thing about me, I always go off this motto, like I like to keep it private until it's permanent. And permanent is ultimately me marriage.
I agree with you, bro.
You know what I mean? Because I just feel like everything that happens, behind the scenes, it's just easier for me to navigate because of my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I always used to tell the people I came across with, like everybody I dealt with, it never was the easiest for them to understand my world because it come with a lot. I'm around women 24/7.
Tell me about
the attention I get. And one thing I learned to accept, because they used to always tell me this, they always had a problem with my friendliness. And I used to always feel like, hey, you coming to my character, this is who I am.
You social.
But I get it, what I mean? I guess you could tone it down. It is some things that I learned now. Like
do you flirt while being friendly?
I never viewed it as flirting.
He be flirting.
But this is where this is where, like I said, I'm gonna be real.
He said I can't help it if everything I say
This is
come
where
off
I feel like
butter on
accountability.
bread.
I had to take my accountability on myself too. I can't always think it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I can't see why this is flirting.
Okay.
In my mind, it's like, I just have a way of talking to women. I'm not gonna lie. I like to talk a lot. It's just it's part of it's just natural. Yeah. But I also understood, like, you know what? This could be a little bit too much.
Yeah,
especially if she's right next to you right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can see why I'm always getting in arguments when we leave here.
Yeah.
But I say all that to just say though, I think my biggest thing was now just being more upfront in the beginning. And I think that's what I learned, like, from moving forward now. Like, the next person I deal with is just making them understand my world rather than just throwing them in it. Because I felt like I just kind of threw them in with the blinders on. And now as things progress, we just it's a lot of friction. Not because of the relationship, but because of like what surrounds
the lifestyle.
Yeah, the lifestyle.
The lifestyle, trust me.
And now that I realize, like, damn, like my last 3 relationships all ended because of my lifestyle. I gotta be more deliberate and intentional upfront about this. Because now it's like, I'm getting older, and at first I didn't see this when I was in my early 20s or mid 20s, but now I'm in my late 20s. I really had time to slow down and really reflect.
100%.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? I even reached out to some of them, like, not even to rekindle,
but
just apologize, just to, like,
100%.
You know what? I can admit it now as a man, like getting older.
100%.
I see where you was coming from.
Respect.
I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't have said it in that moment because that's just not how I felt.
And you didn't see it.
I didn't see it that way.
Your perspective wasn't enhanced in that way. And I would say, like, you gotta find out the key to it also as men is just us finding women that align with our lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like I'm very transparent about my lifestyle. I let women know. I get a lot of women attention, but I know how to deal with it.
Right.
It doesn't move me. It doesn't entice me to want to do anything. I've been getting it for a while, and I'm out of that phase. But I will let you know that it's very present, and that's just what comes with dealing with somebody that's like me.
That's respectable too.
You know what I mean? So you know what you're getting yourself into. I agree when you say it's private to it's permanent. Also because it's like one of the things where I wasn't in a public relationship, and something about it just didn't feel like it should have went public, and it wasn't even a bad feeling. It was just like, you know what I think about going public? I think that you literally have to be prepared for what comes with it. Because now you have external forces, and the evil eye is on your relationship, and you might get the glitz and the glamour of being relationship goals, but you also got people that's looking to destroy. And if y'all foundation ain't solid, like, you just got to be prepared for any attack and how it may come. It might be an old fling, a new fling, a potential fling. It might not even be a fling. It might just be a difference in perspective. And you can be. I used to have to tell my girl, and I didn't realize this in my first relationship, but I'm like, we can't be divided when we leave out of here. Like, our ideologies have to match.
Absolutely.
Meaning, like, if we disagree, it's going to be when we leave here. But right here, we're going to have one.
That makes sense.
And I said, I used a political analogy. I said, like, when Obama and Michelle was running against whoever, McCain or whatever, you ain't never seen Michelle agree with McCain while Obama and him was in some type of debate. Even if he kicked Obama ass on one of them, she probably, you better tighten up because you got to stand with your man. And I was explaining because I'm like, listen, you're gonna be in a lot of high value environments, and it's set up to divide us. It's set up to challenge us in these ways. And it's like, even when a woman throwing herself at me and she might have a BBL and all this, it's set up to divide us.
For real.
But I can't fall victim to that. So I made sure that I was clear cut on her understanding, like, when we leave out, we are one. Now when we come back, you could go back to being you, I go back to being me. But when we leave out here, we come in as an entity. So
No,
that
that's
part
real, bro.
going public for
Yeah.
anybody that's thinking about it, they got to understand that dynamic
You
in
got
order to be
everything that come with it. The
got
totality.
to. I had another question though. It was burning me to ask you this. How you feel about your woman out earning you?
Like financially.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't got a problem with it.
I expected you to say that, but I need to.
And I'm gonna get more in depth. And the reason being, it's funny. I think I was talking to one of my friends, so if she see this episode, she's gonna be cracking up. I asked her the other way, like, how would you feel if you got more money than your man? But to answer my side of it, I think it's because I'm secure in who I am. And it's not really about just lip service. It's like how I carry myself.
Yeah.
You can see it's not in a way of like, I'm not competing. I'm not trying to outdo anybody.
Yeah.
I literally want for myself what I want for everybody else. So if a woman makes more money than me, that's just kudos to her.
Yeah.
That says a lot about what she got going on.
100%.
I don't see how that gotta take away from her to big up me. It just
100%.
don't. Like for me personally, like, let's just say like my ideology is like I want to make sure I take care of the rent, all that cake.
Yeah.
I can do that making less money than you.
Yeah, you sure can.
You know what I mean? It don't make like if Beyonce got 2 bills, Jay-Z got 1 bill, they both billionaires. You know what I mean? So I don't
100%.
see where that affects
Great
me as a man.
analogy.
So the way I look at it is like that's more for her. She can do whatever she wants. Her money is her money, but my money is our money. That's how I look at it. So and I mean that, and that's why it's not really nothing I'm tripping off because I get it. It's something that for some men, I like teachers their own, but for me personally, I mean, you just got.
You said key factors, bro. For one, you secure within yourself, right? And then you said something. You said your money is your money. Your money is your money, and her money is her money. Yeah. And like I'm a dissect that because I feel like so many people understand that concept.
Right.
It's not saying like that she don't help you or she don't come through for you.
Right.
It's saying that with or without her money, I was gonna take care of us anyway.
You just nailed it. That's really what it is.
I was gonna do this anyway. So whatever she has is like that's just whatever.
Bonus. Yeah,
it's just a bonus. No, I had to bring it because I understood it when you said it.
Yeah.
And I don't think everybody would. But now to play devil's advocate, for the man who doesn't know himself, I'm gonna just insert his perspective, right?
Yeah.
I feel like what it comes down to for a man to be comfortable when a woman is making more than him, she has to still respect him as the man and allow him to still lead.
No, that's
because
a way to look at it.
A lot of times I've seen this become the case where women equate the authority to the finances. And they think, okay, you think you can control me with your money? I'm gonna make more than you.
Yeah.
And you think your voice is louder because you have a more success? I'm gonna be more successful, and it becomes more competitive than combined. And then the man starts to feel that, and it's like now she talking to you how she want to talk to you because what, nigga, I can do this without you. I make more money than you. So now it's not that he don't want her to make more money. He just don't want her to feel like that while making more money. So I even wrote this in Cheating Not Cheating. I said a man can be okay with that if you still allow him to feel like the man. If you never downplay or belittle him.
Belittle him. I was just about to say that
because he makes less money than you. So I agree with your perspective 1,000,000%. But I know that guy out here who might can't even identify why he feels like that is wondering like, well, damn, why am I not comfortable? It's because she's probably not making you feel like a man. She's making you feel like you're inadequate to her. And then it's almost to a point where they really do look at it like, well, if I make 100K and you make 60, why should I date you when I should date a man that makes 100 or more? And that doesn't make the man though.
Yeah.
The character and all
even
that.
To say that, the crazy thing is, I feel like, I respect that. Yeah. Like I do, it's a lot of fishes in the sea. 100%. I just think it's as simple as go find somebody that make more. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that fit you.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? Because I can't knock somebody for having that standard. I don't think anybody should be, them settling, however they may view settling. Yeah. I just feel like whatever I look for, however I view things, there's somebody for me.
So what do you look for in a woman since you spoke to that?
Damn, you know what's crazy, bro? It be the little things that just trick me up.
Let me
Something
get it.
as simple as that. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know if I got a simple answer.
No, do what you do.
I would say, and let me make this make sense. I would say I would look for somebody I could see as the mother of my kids. That's one. Because that's one of the things I look at, because our kids, we bring them in this world. Yeah. Meaning like they can't choose who their parents are.
That's real.
So I have the luxury of choosing the mother of whoever my daughter or son may be. So I look at stuff that's that because, and I know I'm going deep with it, but the way I look at it is because like partnership is huge for me. If we don't have the same alignment, the same understanding of how we want to rate, I don't want to bring somebody in a situation that's going to be kind of selfish for me to do that. And then there's so much friction now, divorce, all that. I know some things is by chance, but at least that's my biggest thing is like, look for that type of thing first.
You should move with intention.
Yeah, move with intention.
Yeah.
And then there's the little things too. Somebody like with a strong foundation, I think respect has to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Also, I think religion for me.
Yeah.
Because faith is a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that can work. Maybe it could, But I just don't see how that can work.
I don't think it can work.
If we not on the same alignment with spiritually, I just feel like it's going to be
astray.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a disconnect. So I mean, it's just some things where I look at are like, deal breakers and some things I can work with. And
Got you.
Yeah, so some of these things that I mentioned, if I don't have that, that's kind of non-negotiable. So.
No, it makes sense. And honestly, like I haven't had a luxury action of that many men on the couch.
Yeah.
But I always ask men that for one to kind of get a sense of like what they see and look for in a woman.
Right.
But you didn't mention how beautiful she was.
Right.
You didn't mention how much money she make. You really more so mentioned character things and mindset. Yeah. And I think that more women need to understand that that's what we look for in them.
For real.
More than we look for anything, because they always try to say we visual creatures.
Yeah.
And I say I have never looked at a woman with a fat ass and said her ass fat as shit, I'm gonna marry her. That's not the discussion. I might have said I want to have. I'm a sexual. Yeah. I might sexualize her by looking at her beauty, but I'm never going to look at her beauty and say this is why I want to marry you.
Right.
Now, for somebody out there that might feel like, well, if she was ugly, you would. Nah, because most guys' wives be alright. Yeah. They don't be drop dead gorgeous. It's not to say no men. It ain't to say that all men not married.
Right.
Because that's just be tripping to say. But I'm just saying like. You look at it most of the time, what makes a woman a wife, it ain't, I'm telling you, that'd be the least thing. You'll be a young boy, you'll be like, why he marry her? Mm-hmm. But then you'll get up close and you get older, you'll be like, oh, she always held it down. Yeah. She had his back. She never did this, she never did that. You're like, okay, that's why he married her.
Because I'm not, the way I look at it, I'm not shallow with my thinking process. It's more so I understand what I need. Although sometimes what you want, just humans, we got a lot of desires, but I know, what I need can be what I want. And that's why I'm always, I think, on a deeper level, because I understand, like, bro, I come from a single parent household. Yeah. I see a lot of single parent households. I see a lot of my friends, none of us saw our dads growing up. That's why I never noticed Father's Day.
I said
everybody
that
around me, they had fathers, you feel me? So it's like,
I'm my bad. I was just saying that to somebody. He was on the show. I was like, you got a dad? And everybody started laughing. I'm like, well, my fault. Like, you got a dad?
No, for real, because it's something to think about, bro.
Because he said, like, yeah, man, when my dad was raising me. Your dad raised you?
Because it's so normal.
Fucked up to say.
No,
but I'm like, your dad raised,
For real, bro.
But I wanted to ask you, did you have, I said I had to get used to time to ask me some questions. So it's that time. Like,
I actually had a question for you, too.
Let's talk about it.
Because since we on this topic, bro, being as though, like, I'm even knowing you personally, even though watching you from the outside looking in, like, being the wolf, I do see a lot of admirations, like, for women, and a lot of them, I can't really dissect what their intention is, but I know with somebody like you, because of your aura, the way you have this light to the world, a lot of people can fall in love with the idea of you.
Yeah, 100%.
So with you, how do you find it challenging finding the right person to like you for who you are rather than being the wolf? Because Naeem is still a person too, but the wolf is what everybody sees. Like, it's in this amplifying way. You feel me?
I think that's what make it the most challenging for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they do, and it's weird because like the luxury of me is like people do often say like, oh, like I'm like what you see is what you get. It's literally that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it make it a challenge because now for me it's about like I value myself too. So it'd be like, do you value me how I value me? You know what I mean? So it's like you in love with the idea of me. Yeah. But do you when everything over and when I'm really going through these moments when I'm in my low points when I'm not like illuminating the rooms and stuff, can you handle that? Because it's just as strong as my powerful presence. Yeah. The reverse side of that is just as strong.
Heavy,
like when if I'm in a space. Yeah, the whole room will feel it. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I always know that a woman will have to understand. I say, understanding me is the key to my heart. You have to understand me. If a woman understand me, she already in. Now, what she do from there is up to how it go. But if I feel understood, like I can literally, cause I'm an open journal. Like even in business or whatever, I gotta pour my ideas, pour my mind. I'm a unfiltered, like if you around me all day, I just be talking all day. Yeah. And some of these be scattered thoughts. And you gotta be able to let me finish. Sometimes I say shit that might not make sense. I used to have one girl walk me through my thoughts and like, oh my God, I fell in love with her because of this. Yeah. And we never even was in a relationship, but she knew how to see where I was going with something and like never rushed to perspective. I always run into women that because I'm so like opinionated, so strong-minded, and I come from a wise perspective, they want to challenge that. Like I ran into a lot of women that be attracted to me to debate.
Just to spark the conversation.
You know what I mean? Like, and I know we can have that discussion, but once you become my partner, I want you on my team. I don't want it. I don't want it always to be a reverse. And another thing I run into that I never got to articulate as an issue is sometimes I'll be liking girls, but they might come to me and like they might have stuff they want to work on. And the moment they come to me as almost like I ain't gonna call it a client, but in a sense of like, I look at you in that way. I don't even romanticize or sexualize you no more, because now you done been vulnerable in a way that was like almost platonic to me. So I run into that a lot, and I always run into, I might think a girl attractive, and then I might end up knowing somebody that she dealt with, and he might have asked me for advice. So I'm like, damn, like that makes
like
it
everything is all over
full circle. So I mean, for the most part, I feel like for my pond, it's just a very unique individual that's going to be able to capture and captivate it, and just love Naeem and Wolf, and understand that both of them motherfuckers gonna have ups and downs. You know what I mean? I can't show up every day and be on 150. Some of these days I'm gonna be on 50, but I'm never gonna let myself get to zero.
Real, bro.
You
Especially if mostly what they see us project on social media is 100, 150. So that's real, bro.
But that was a great question, and I never even answered it in a way that I've just answered it, because it never came at a time where I was thinking like this.
Right.
So I think that was an awesome question. Let me ask you this: if you could ask me a question in a way that I can advise you and send you off with something, what would that look like?
Like as far as like you asking me or me asking
you
you?
asking me a question and I can give you some type of advice. I want to get into that where it's like, maybe I could answer, maybe you have a riddle that need to be solved, and maybe I can bridge the gap.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right, let me think of one. Let me think of one.
I know it's a heavy question to try to come up with on the spot, but I just made it up on the fly, so I just shoot.
I got you. So I'm gonna say this. So I think I'm gonna just be present right now.
Okay.
Because right now, me being present of what I'm dealing with is giving me a lot to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real.
So I would say this though. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, in our world, a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
A lot of struggles, trials, and tribulations. So right now, when you're at a place where you feel like you don't see no light at the end of the tunnel, and the things that used to motivate you aren't working no more.
Yeah.
What do you do next? Because now it's not as simple as like, all right, I know I used to do this, or people would tell me this, or the same advice. But now, like, the go-tos is not working.
So
when you in that type of space, like, how do you find yourself to find that extra kick now to like get out of this dark space?
I had to close my eyes as you said that, because literally I tie it to what I was going through when I was in Atlanta, right? You know, I was in Atlanta for 14 months. Yeah. And I had lost 3 people in a span of 2 weeks. And I fell into a space that I didn't realize I was in, where I wasn't even active for like 7 or 8 months. Now I'm still on Instagram, still doing things, but I'm not really running my businesses. Like I'm literally just burying myself in debt, just doing stuff. And I'm gonna be real, it got to a point where like I was lost, right? Yeah. And like this gonna sound cliche, but I promise you that's what I did. I literally, like I started to seek for God, right? Yeah. And I was begging, and I'm like, this is so crazy. I got to tell you the story. I know we be short on time, but I was begging. I dropped to my knees and I cried, and I'm like, yo, God, like, all right, I give up. That was my exact words. I give up. I don't know what to do. I don't have the answers. I need your help, right? And in a nutshell, I kept having this burning, because he'll communicate through your intuition to go home. But my pride was like, no, I can't go back. And when I met the girl, I don't know, something within our communication, she just redirected me. Like something she said, asked me a question, like, so like, something about my future. And when we talk about being in these dark spaces now, we lose sight of our future.
You do,
And you forget it get blurry, because you attaching your past to your future. I used to be doing this, I used to be doing that, so I got to carry this with me. No, it was time to drop all of it. It was time. So it's really time, and this time I would say wait, like being patient in the sense of like wait until you, but still do things. Like taking yourself out on dates. Like don't literally wait and sit still, but wait to figure out what it is while trying different stuff.
I see what you
just
mean.
do stuff. Just put some clothes out. Just do old stuff. Just schedule a show. And just while you doing it, the answer going to be revealed to you in some way. It might take for you to take yourself on a date to run into somebody that sparked that thought. It might take for you to throw a show to connect with somebody that be like, all right, I ain't throwing fast shows no more, but now I'm doing this. And here we have it, the Wolf Network. Here we have it, the Wolf is back in Philly. So it took, and when I first came back, bro, I was in a 90-day rut. I could be transparent in this moment because I know for a fact I wasn't going to. And that's one thing I admire about the situation I was in. I ain't feel judged. But it was one of the things where regardless if I did, I knew that it wasn't going to last. I just didn't know what to do. I didn't try truck driving this year. I didn't try all types of stuff. And then next thing you know, I just started paying attention. I'm like, God trying to tell me to relax. I'm not even accept where you at right now. That's the biggest key I give you.
Acceptance.
Figure out where, accept it. Be like, you know what? Because it's not gonna last. And then just do shit. And I'm telling you, eventually that answer gonna be revealed. And that's exactly what I did. And now I just been following God. And I told you off camera, I don't do nothing without God. Like I'm talking about, bro, I went and got saved. You know, I know you Muslim, but I went and got saved. And the presence of God is amazing when you can feel it. And I think that you're gonna know when that time comes. So my best advice would be to just scrap your past. And you could do what looks familiar, but don't hold yourself to it. You don't gotta show up as used from the last 7 years. You are a new version, and whatever that looked like in the time being, just go through with it. And I'm telling you, you're gonna get realigned, and it's gonna be a breakthrough. Like you're approaching your breakthrough, bro. You're approaching, and think bigger. Yeah. That's another thing that's the last thing I'm gonna say. That's what clouds our judgment, because you did it. Like, damn, I had a sold out fashion show. I had this event. Think bigger. Sell out an arena. Yeah. And I bet you when you think about selling out an arena, it's gonna spark new motivation. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. So I just wanted to say that, man. That was a great question.
Man.
No, I appreciate you for coming down, bro.
For sure, bro.
Listen, this was an amazing episode. You came down on short notice, last minute. We switched the time. Yeah. And, first of all, let me give you your flowers. I said it in the beginning of the episode, bro. You're one of the best leaders I've ever got the chance to be around and got to watch and admire. Your team love you. How I feel like my team love me. They got a high level of respect for you. Y'all united. Y'all truly embody what I feel like the Wolves are. We lead with unity, loyalty, and love. And I feel like that's how y'all operate, you know what I mean? So like I would consider y'all an extension of the pack, because y'all move it like that. And I look at you like a fellow leader of the pack, but you just leading your own tribe or whatever the case may be. Continue to be a beacon of light, continue to pour into the community and give back. And man, continue to lead by example, bro. You know, we locked in forever.
Forever, dog.
I love you, my guy.
Love you too, bro.
And I appreciate you for coming down, man.
No doubt, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, somebody got to do it.
Somebody got to do it. Yes, sir, man.
Don't go nowhere, man. When we come back, we're going to tap into the next segment. And then we're going to wrap it up. Let's go.
Describe an area of your life you have grown in since the beginning of the year.
I would have to say that I grew more patient and more focused. And I think that the reason that has been essential to even the progress that I've been able to make is because one of the key things that has been always making me impulsive is me lacking patience and being impatient, right? So that leads to being impulsive and making irrational decisions at times, or even trying to take leaps that's not even based on faith, but just based on whatever it might be in that moment. And then staying focused helps me have tunnel vision and eliminate and avoid distractions, which is also a central key piece, because when you equip patience with focus, you can be patient during that process as you travel down the road towards success. So I think for me, it helps me a lot because it allows me to be able to see things to and through. What's going on with the Wolf? And I want to take this time to say thank you for tuning into this week's episode of The Couch. If you made it this far, that means you got some valuable information, some insight, and some game. Now y'all know what I'm about to ask y'all to do. I need y'all to do 3 things for me. I need you to like, comment, and subscribe. But I don't want you to just comment fire emojis and thumbs up. I actually want you to engage. So if it's something that we went into that you wish we would have dived a little bit more deeper into, then let us know. If it's something that we didn't cover at all and you felt like it would have been a prime opportunity for us to cover, let me know in the comments, because guess what? I can talk about it in another segment. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this week. I hope you have a good week, and make sure you follow us on Instagram with wolfnetworkwse. Make sure you subscribe to us at Wolf Network and follow me, Wolf WSC. Let's get it, man. See y'all again.